welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, this is my dad Noah, and every week for 5 years now, we've been sitting on my bed and having a conversation about really whatever we want to talk about. So this week, we're going to talk about group chats. So you were at a tech talk at school a few weeks ago, and they were talking about screen time and stuff like that, but primarily group chats.
It was just about group chats. The whole thing was group chats.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you had learned a lot there.
Yeah, I did.
And you want to talk about this on the podcast.
Yes, I want you to stay strong through your
sentences.
Sorry. Yeah. But someone the other day asked me, you guys really sit on your bed? And I said, well, yeah. And they're on YouTube. Oh, really? So you can go on YouTube. It's very easy to subscribe. You use your Google login, and that's how you log into YouTube. It's owned by Google. And then you hit subscribe right down below on the video, and then you'll get a notification every time we post an episode, which is every Monday. And then you can also do that wherever you get your podcast. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and in the description of this podcast, there's a link that will take you to everywhere you could get the Follow-Up podcast. So we appreciate it. Okay, so at school they do these tech talks, which are extremely helpful for all ages. And this one focused on group chats, and it was a whole bunch of middle school parents. It was really nice. And so there were a bunch of takeaways from me, but let's start with, because this is a very popular topic amongst parents of middle schoolers. Again, you're in 6th grade, New York City. What rules and things do you follow already when it comes to group chats? And let's start by saying you don't have a phone. No. We have a family iPad that you can text from. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Don't post anything don't text anything that you wouldn't want someone to see.
What do you mean? By someone, what do you mean?
Like, let's say I post, send something to a group chat. Mm-hmm. And let's say someone isn't on that group chat, that someone shows it to someone else in our grade. Okay. Like, everyone should be okay seeing it.
Got it.
Like, I should, yeah. And if I just want one person to see it, I'll send it to that person.
Right. Right, but
then they could still see it.
Yeah, they could, right, exactly. Right. Yeah, it's a lesson in who you can trust.
But it's also like, going along with that, don't send anything mean, don't talk about anyone else. Mm-hmm. If you really want to say something, say it to their face. Like, nothing recorded that you would want against you. Don't say, for kids, don't say anything you wouldn't want your parents seeing. Yep. Also, if you're hanging out with a group of friends, it's a sleepover or something, don't post a video. Don't send a video, because don't send anything that would leave people out or make them feel not welcome or not included. Uh-huh. Yeah. And those are really good. It. Those are really good things to always have in mind. Yes. And be kind on the internet and mindful of what you send. For sure. So what you said was interesting. Like, if you did, you could just send it to one person, and then it's like, well, maybe not. But now you could just FaceTime that person. Right. Or just call that. Or just call that person on audio. Or I could see my friend the next day at school. Right. Exactly. Totally. And so when we were growing up, we didn't have texting. Yeah. We had AOL Instant Messenger, which was that? So AOL was an internet provider. Okay. Like we have Verizon Fios. This was an internet provider that you could have a screen name. Okay. Just like you would on a game. Noah. You wouldn't use your real name. I mean, you could. But it's like those things. Just like it's like a username.
Yeah, username.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
So it could be a handle. It could be like what is currently an Instagram handle or something. You just make up a name, and you then add friends. But back then, it was just 1-to-1. You could only send a message to one person. I kind of like that. And so, but it was like texting, but you could only do it from your computer. Okay. And
that's not terrible, though. That's not bad.
No, and it was very primitive and early, and so and it started when we were in high school, but we didn't really use it in high school. We used it much more in college, and in college, it was actually very useful because I didn't have a cell phone until sophomore year. And even then, if you were going to text or call, you had limits on the number of minutes you could use on your phone, and the text you could have like unlimited texts or calls to someone who also had Verizon. But if you were texting someone who had AT&T, you only had 50 out of network text, so like to AT&T or Sprint. So imagine knowing who all of your friends' service providers were.
Like, I don't know
Right,
any
it doesn't
of,
matter
like,
now. It
yeah.
doesn't matter now. So what was useful was you could put up what was called an away message. So that if someone came online and it was called a buddy list, and it had a list of all your friends that were there, that were online or offline. And if you clicked on it and they were offline, it might give you a message saying, hey, I'm out, but meet us later at Beckett's. We'll be there at 11 o'clock. So people could see that, and then your friends would know, like, all right, yeah, here's where I'm going to be. You couldn't screenshot it. Those things didn't exist. You couldn't save things. That didn't exist.
Okay.
So that's where we made our mistakes of, like, we didn't have any sort of digital education because it was new to the entire world.
Right.
So we might have said things, and I know I definitely did, to friends that maybe about somebody else or some feelings or anything like that I may not have said to their face, and that's not good.
Right, yeah.
But we had the benefit of that not being saved or screenshotted or showed to anybody else. Period.
But then would your text like disappear after a little bit?
No, those conversations could live on, but there was no way to save it. But as soon as you X'd out of it, as soon as your conversation ended and you X'd out of it, it was gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, it was gone. Mm-hmm. So we had the benefit of when we made some mistakes, they weren't life-altering mistakes.
Right.
You guys make mistakes, and it lives forever. And
Right.
You might not be able to ever escape that mistake.
Right. Like you can't.
The stakes are much higher
right,
for you.
It's like, they talk about this like a lot. Even if you delete something, it's not deleted. It just goes to like, it kind of goes to another place.
It's either in the
It's
cloud.
still stored in the internet.
Right.
Just, you can't see it.
But also, right, like, or if you deleted it, the person on the other end still sees it.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if you delete a message, it sometimes will still say blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I can still see this message.
Sure. Yeah. And how easy is it just to take a screen grab or something?
So easy.
Right. And it lives on forever.
Right.
So again, I totally recognize what's at stake for you guys, and that's why we harp on this so much and try to drive this in, because we had the luxury of being able to make some mistakes, but you guys don't.
Right.
Unfortunately, you just don't. The stakes are so much higher.
Because when you were my age, you just call your friends.
Right. So that's something I want to talk about. Did the light just go out? Yeah. Let's see if I can put it back on. Okay. So what was interesting, someone at school said, one of the people who was leading the chat, was we were talking about patience. And on text, when you're having a conversation, you expect someone to write back right away. But you don't always have to respond. You don't have to respond right away. But these days, via text, everything is just instant. You're always expecting someone to respond. Like, how come they're not responding? And that creates anxiety. You're thinking like, oh, maybe I said the wrong thing, or maybe they don't like me anymore, maybe they don't want to right? When we wanted to call a friend, we'd call their house, okay, and say I was calling Ben's house, and I'd say, hey Holly, it's Noah. Is Ben there? Or even say, hey Holly, how are you? Like, what'd you do today? Like we'd have a conversation with a parent, and oh, is Ben there? Yep. And then you have to wait. Holly would have to go get Ben. Ben would come to the phone. Hey, bud, what's going on? Yeah, you want to come over and later? Yeah, hold on, let me ask my mom. Wait. Go. Yeah, okay, yeah, then I'll be over. So we had to wait and learn what to do with that time. Like, we didn't get anxious about, oh, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? It was built-in waiting time, which is great. You guys, it's just, what are they thinking? How come they're not responding?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Personally, I feel like I'm not too much like that unless I'm having a conversation with someone and then they just leave the conversation.
Yeah, and also, if you're going to have a conversation, like, just call them.
Yeah, like, no, but if I'm just asking someone, like,
If it's a one-off question.
if it's a one-off question,
Yeah,
like,
right.
But if I text a friend, I'm like, hi, how are you? Sometimes I'll just say, hi, how are you? And I'll just close it. I'll, like, close after, like, a minute if they don't
Right,
respond.
if they don't respond. Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
like-
Yeah, and then you have to come back to it and
Later.
then say, and right, and you can come back to it later and then have a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's almost like asking the person, like, hey, are you around to talk? Or
Yeah.
or are you around? Because then you won't just, like, float it out there and then close it,
Right.
you know? Yeah. That is kind of
texting's,
interesting.
like, interesting. It's...
It is, but so
it's-
so in group
it's
text now, you guys right now, as we learned in school, that you're just figuring out how to communicate over text. And a lot of it is hi, funny emoji, meme, whatever it is. But you want to be a part of it because who doesn't want to be part of a group text? Even if you're not actively participating in it, which is also fine.
Right.
But as you get older, even next year, maybe what we were told is that's going to dwindle down. There's not going to be a grade group text. It's going to be maybe just your advisory group or a few friends that you trust to help maybe with homework, or maybe just a few of your closest friends, and then one-on-one, and then you just learn how to communicate in that way.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Right. Like, I actually have a million group chats, but a lot of them are with different groups of friends. Like,
Yeah.
but I have a lot are from camp of different bunks, and then I think my first summer, there were a million group chats that everyone was just making group chats.
Because it's new.
It was like your color war team, and then your
Yeah.
bunk, and then your few closest friends, and then maybe, I think I have a group chat with 3 friends. It's me and 2 friends, and then one's with me, those 2 friends, and then just one other friend.
Right.
Because we want to have our own, but then we also want to have one with her, but we don't want her on it. It was like a whole thing.
Right, but you're just figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah, you're just figuring it out. So I'm going to run through a few of the things that I learned, and one of them was, so in your room is where you watch shows on the weekends.
Yes.
Bring the iPad in your room, you watch the shows in the morning. What we were told was absolutely no texting in your room, and we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you do that, then there's this sense of, well, now it's private. Even though it's not. It's a false sense of privacy. And also, we don't want devices in your room. So even when you do get a phone, it's not going to come into your...
Right.
It's not going to come into your room. It's going to stay out there. Yep. What about... They talked about tech plans for sleepovers and get-togethers.
Yeah.
And they encouraged parents to talk to each other about it first. And they said that they said that parents are like almost hoping that someone else says, "Hey, like I'd prefer there not to be." But then my thought is, then that parent tells their kid, "Hey, Eden's parents don't want this," and then it's like, well, then that makes you not look bad, but then it puts it all on you or us.
Right.
Just need to try to be on the same page. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 examples.
Okay.
So, I was at a sleepover, I don't remember what it was, maybe a month ago, with 15 girls. And the parent who was, I guess, hosting said, no phones, but Apple Watches are okay, just because some parents like to have contact with their kids because it wasn't in the city. Mm-hmm. And that was fine. And then I had a sleepover actually last night, and my friend has a phone. She's actually very good about not using it. Mm-hmm. She says, I don't use it. I actually asked her about it. She says, I don't use it often unless she says, I have my group chats and stuff on it, but she doesn't text that much. She says, I really only use it to text my family and to text some of my closest friends.
Cool.
And she says, I'm a terrible texter because I don't check my text that often, but she doesn't have any apps on her phone besides the apps that come with the iPhone.
Great.
And I think she's really good about it.
Yeah.
I actually admire that a
Yeah,
lot about
so-
her.
yeah.
But she didn't bring it with her. She doesn't have an Apple Watch, but she just left it at home.
Yeah.
She has an iPad, but
Yeah, I would appreciate, like, if, again, just like any other rule, like if a parent say, hey, we're not going to use these, then, like, all right, so then put them away somewhere.
And
would make sense.
at that big sleepover, so she doesn't have an Apple Watch, and she just bought her phone. Actually, she kept it tucked in her bag, like literally, like in her bag, and I didn't see it the whole time. She said she told me, she said it's just because my parents, just in case something happens,
Yep.
just
Understand.
it's there.
So I think, and it's really hard for parents. Like, it is a delicate balance. It's just really hard. We're learning this as we go. It's hard, but I appreciate that you have some friends like that. Something about parents, and it's something that I always want to say in all of these meetings, is our kids, we model behavior for our kids. If we're telling our kids, hey, get off your phone, that's unnecessary, and then we need to be the ones off our phone. So you know that I've worked really hard over the past few years. Like, I think I've done a pretty good job over the past few years of taking time just away, and knowing, like, thinking about what is actually necessary for me to do.
I'm really working.
And Mom's good at it too.
Yeah, and I'm really working on not using it as much.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Right, and it's just, sometimes it's just like, hey, a look, like, hey, it doesn't have to become a big deal. We got to just think about what is absolutely necessary in the moment. But one of the questions that was raised was, how do we, given that there's so much texting, how do we develop deep thinkers as kids? So how do we, if everything is just like a quick emoji or something like that, we used to write a lot of letters, but you write thank you notes, you write letters from camp.
Yeah.
Great.
I haven't done
More
that.
letters and now emails of actually thinking and putting thought into what you're writing. And Mom and I said that on our family group text that we're not going to use any more thumbs up or hearts, those kind of things, and we're going to just try to write some more things out.
But then that means you actually have to text it more often.
Well, I guess I can, but yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So that wasn't my point, though.
Okay.
And I know in 2 classes at school, especially, we're really like working on deep thinking, history, but because we write a lot, paragraphs, but especially, like, this is like the biggest class I think we do this, is science. Because our teacher, I had her last year, she's a great teacher. And her biggest thing is deep thinking.
Okay.
Even if you go off of the question, she wants you to have, like, the biggest thoughts you can have, basically. She says, like, just keep pushing yourself to keep thinking and get, like, bigger thoughts from thoughts. And, like, the biggest thing she wants you to do is ask questions. That's it. That's her thing.
Like,
That's
ask
her
questions
thing.
of yourself and then try to answer and ask, like, why or how.
Why,
and then, keep going.
Why does this relate to my life? Why am I learning about this? Oh, if this is this, then would that make this? Or I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And when we're writing, to keep pushing ourselves, and a lot of times when we write a CER, I'm not sure what that stands for, but it's a report in science.
You still haven't figured this out?
No, I still haven't figured it out. I'll look
evaluate, review,
I don't know.
Results.
It's after you do an experiment. Usually we do it. We did it for the science fair last year, and one thing on it is I think it's like a paragraph at the bottom. I forget what it's about. Evidence maybe.
Okay.
Or explanation. And a lot of times she gives you a word bank of, here are some words you should use, and she encourages you to look back in your notes and stuff like that. And I've been really trying to use all of those words and somehow incorporate them and go, like, deeper into detail. I feel like is a lot in there too.
Right. Good.
So that's
helpful.
That's one class that we're working on.
That's helpful. Yeah, and every time, I've always said this to you, every opportunity you get to write is an opportunity to make yourself a better writer.
Yes.
Whether it's a thank you note or a letter from camp or something in school. There's always an opportunity to do that. And, like, just the other day, someone was asking me about qualities of a good broadcaster. I said, you have to be able to write. And I think you're going to have to know how to write in any profession. Yeah. You have to know how to write and be a deep thinker.
Right. You, like, have to know how to writing helps you. Wait. Yeah, never mind. That wouldn't work.
No?
Never mind. That didn't work.
Okay.
It was just, yeah.
Last thing for you. Something that came up that has come up a bunch is, and I remember learning this when you were even younger, was that kids crave boundaries. Even though it sounds counterintuitive, that you'd think, well, no, I don't want boundaries. I want to be able to do whatever I want. But you actually want the boundary so that you know how far you might be able to even push the boundary or get close to that line or maybe even get in trouble. Fine. But that kids do crave the boundary so that they do need some direction. Do you feel that way? Or do you think that is wild for... it is as wild to think about as it is to say that kids crave the boundary?
I think it makes a lot of sense, but it's one of those things that you don't think, like, oh, I really want a boundary. It's something like deep in your mind that you don't think. And I definitely think I feel that, but I don't, it's not like, oh, I want boundaries.
Right. Right. It's not like something you're thinking about in the moment.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's like a deeper thought. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and you could go through examples, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Let's close with
I've been sitting in front of it the whole time.
an appropriate book review.
Oh, wait, so I watched a little bit of this thing, I think it was on CNN, about the Louvre jewelry heist.
Yeah.
And then they were, in a thing earlier, they were also talking a little bit about the Mona Lisa when that was stolen. And I figured this is a great book, Framed by James Ponti. There's first in a 3-book series, and this is about a boy who solves mysteries. Actually, I won't tell anymore, but his parents work at this art museum in Washington, D.C., and a painting has gone missing.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then there's a lot more.
Well, I'm glad we had this conversation, and it's nice hearing your perspective. And I have a feeling that we're gonna have a lot of digital conversations for however long we do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure we will.
Yeah. All right. I love you.
Love you.